Okay, guys, we're getting close to wrapping up the what portion, and also that's going to wrap up the food portion of this course. So we've got through this weekend is going to be the end of the what, and then we're going to move into the lifestyle with sleep and exercise and stress management. So I want to just kind of recap a little bit today on the kind of the food principles that we've been introducing throughout this, just as a refresher course. And I want to emphasize that these are food principles, not rules. Okay, we talked about rules versus boundaries. I'm a big believer in principle-based decisions rather than just making rules. So these are the kind of the principles that we've kind of enforced or kind of introduced over the course of this. Just as kind of a review. So the first one is eat real food. Eat real food. Okay, we want to eat natural, simple, minimally processed foods and ingredients. And some examples there might be cane sugar is more natural, less processed than your sugar alcohols and other artificial sweeteners. So if you're looking for more natural, you're actually going to want to go to the sugar. Obviously, we want to keep it to a minimum. Um, on the other hand, we've got honey, maple syrup are actually less processed than table sugar. But like an agave syrup is actually more processed than a table sugar. So we want to we want to eat real food as much as possible. We want to eat real food, the vegetables, the proteins, you know, food that is as close to its natural state as possible, um, and simple ingredients, and for at least 80% of our intake. That's kind of the goal. That's the principle, allowing for those less nutritious, more fun foods that give us pleasure, and make our life, give our life variety, which is nice. Principle number 2 is we want to eat enough, but not too much. And how we do that is by living in that rhythm of 0 to 5, eating when we get to 0, stopping when we get to 5, and eating kind of that 80-20, more natural food intake choices, makes that easier. And also, of course, following the foundational habits that we have established makes that a lot easier, to eat enough but not too much. And then the last one is know what food does for you and make your choices accordingly. So we need proteins, fats, and complex carbs consistently. And sometimes we need simple carbs. And sometimes we need to avoid certain foods, at least temporarily, sometimes indefinitely, because they don't serve you. They either cause you cravings, or you just have a really hard time having some self-control around them. And so it's just best to not have them in your vicinity. If they're out of sight, they will be out of mind more likely. If they're not readily available, you're less likely to go for them. If you have to make a trip all the way to the store for the Reese's that you're really craving, chances are you will figure out a way to satisfy that craving some other way, or just ignore it altogether. And then, of course, if there's any food that gives you a bad physical reaction, digestive upset, allergic reaction, or anything like that, then those are probably foods we want to avoid indefinitely. Now, if there's a food that you have a hard time with right now controlling yourself, um, but when you've kind of are more established with the 0 to 5, and then you feel like, okay, I think I will be okay to have a piece with my meal and then leave the rest away, then we can maybe start to reintroduce those foods that were a struggle before, and test it out and see, am I there? Am I ready to kind of reintroduce this? So those are some basic food principles. I would love to hear any others that you've come up with for yourself over the course of the last 8 weeks. I would love that. So